So, we are all here because we feel we need to do something to make a difference. And the person I'm going to introduce you to now has been at the really sharp end of action. She sat 10 days underground in Euston. She's been living up a tree, protecting this ancient woodland for HS2. Please welcome Rollie.
Before I get into what I want to say about HS2, I'd just like to say that when we speak of fossil fuel projects, road projects and HS2, we often think about the land in which is going to be stolen from us. We think about the debt in which we have to pay. We think of the emissions, the war on climate that is waging and the communities that are set to be affected. One thing I would like us to reflect on right now is not the communities that are set to be affected, it's the communities that are already being affected on this land and beyond. Think about those who are disproportionately affected by this crisis because of their ethnic origins, because of the class that the system has unjustly placed them into. You may be someone who is disproportionately affected, you may not be. But think about it for just a second, because while you may be fighting for your future, people are already mourning theirs. We are now in the depths of a climate and ecological emergency. We have and continue to be plagued with social injustice in every corner of this nation and every other nation on the planet. To combat one crisis, we must combat them both. Colonialism, capitalism, greed and power, the factors that have backed us into a harrowing corner. It is a corner in which, everywhere we turn, we are surrounded by an industrial empire that was never meant for the gain of people like you and I. It was sincerely meant for the gain of tyrannical and the so-called ruling class. HS2 and projects alike are fueling and furthering the loss of biodiversity and habitat health. HS2 is a menacing railway project that has and is still ripping through 108 ancient woodlands. Countless homes on unnecessary volumes of common land. This includes 693 local wildlife sites. Land is a home, not a commodity. Nature is a necessity, not a luxury. HS2 is the pinnacle of wealth disparities, class inequalities and social injustice in the UK. One day, working class children are going to learn the truth, and they're going to want to know why their friends' stomachs rumbled with the stripping of free school meals, why their vulnerable relatives couldn't seek medical attention during a global pandemic because of an underfunded NHS. They'll want to know why their schools couldn't afford textbooks because of slash funding. They'll want to know why every inch of precious greenery in their area has been decimated at the hands of suited fiends. When HS2 is costing every taxpayer just under £7,000 and an overall of £200 billion, it makes one wonder for whom this railway is really for. A project that takes 1 million times more than it gives is simply just theft and criminality dressed up in a vanity-beholden suit and tie. Ordinary people continue to be exploited by those in the ivory towers of Westminster. For decades, working class people have been ordered to pay the price for a debt that was never theirs. Through the stripping of necessities, funding and land to pave the way for desolate and destructive industry. HS2 is not democratic. The people did not ask for it. Therefore, HS2 is a case to be taken to the highest of powers, and that power is the people. This project is coming for working class homes with bulldozers and battering rams. It's coming for natural paradises with diggers and chainsaws. Yet HS2 will rapidly exchange gold and green paper havens for the land of golf courses where the elite do play. When HS2 is finished, our natural wonders will be completely decimated. Biodiversity will have rapidly declined. The fight for social justice will have staggered backwards, and wealth disparities will have steeply inclined. When I talk about HS2, it makes me so angry. I live on active resistance camps. I, along with so many others, have witnessed and first-hand faced the destruction and violence from HS2 workers. Living on active resistance camps, we face violence from the police, from bailiffs, and from private security firms every day. I've watched my friends, not much older than me and some younger than me, be dragged through rivers, almost drowning, almost being put out of their tree houses by police and bailiffs. HS2 is a state-led project. Therefore, it is no wonder institutions upheld by the state, such as the police force and bailiff teams, support it and are willing to endanger and abuse those that protest it. They serve the state, not the people. They serve corporations, while furthering and upholding and being a pinnacle of social injustice. HS2 is not our friend. The state is not our friend. The policing institution is not our friend. The law does not dictate the realms of morality, and therefore resistance is key in this fight for justice.
Yes.
One last thing I would like to touch on before finishing is the police, crime, sentencing and courts bill. Specifically, the anti-trespass part of this bill. Now, this part of the bill will specifically target the Gypsy, Roma and Traveller community. It proposes that anyone on an illegal encampment should be fined up to £2,500 or be given a custodial sentence. This is ethnic cleansing, this is racism, and it is rife within society. Right now, I am asking people to support the GRT community, to sympathise, empathise and resist. Trespass is integral to direct action and resistance, and those living a nomadic way of life and on protest camps are going to face the same criminalisation. The fight for ecological justice is intertwined with the fight for social justice. Intersectionality, when true and sincere, is a force to be reckoned with. And it is the only force in which this campaign will be won by. And that is why, if we choose to act, it must be now. If we choose to change, it must be drastic. And if we choose to live, then it must be in harmony. Thank you.
Brilliant job, Rollie. Thank you so much.